You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report's Daily Report, podcast number 238.1, our daily update on high school, college, and professional sports news in Central Indiana, with a little bit of major national sports news, anything that may be of interest to Central Indiana sports fans, every weekday at 1 p.m.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report, thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. Today is April 17, 2025. It's a Thursday. That means it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengel, and I love Central Indiana sports. Coming to you today from Madison Grant High School, producer Susie is in the control room at headquarters in Jeffersonville. Coming up, the Madison County Tennis Tournament kicked off Wednesday. Madison County baseball continues, and we have IU Purdue and Pacers news, plus college and high school baseball and softball, track and golf. And we look ahead to Friday's schedule highlights. We also got all kinds of podcasts coming up. On Wednesday, Michelle Garman and I spoke with new Kokomo football head coach Caleb Small. That'll be out in just a couple of hours. We talked to him about his new gig. Michelle, Will Rutherford, Grant Schaus, Mike Rich, and I previewed the Bucks and Pacers series and predicted all 8 first-round series. That's 2 different segments. That'll be both out on Friday. Michelle joined Will for 5 questions that need answers. That'll be out later Thursday. And we talked some IU basketball. The IU basketball segment was released earlier Thursday. Also this weekend, we expect to have Hanson's Combat Sports Report and Uncle Paul's MLB Report. Plus all of our continued coverage of local high school sports. There is literally something for all sports fans. Here's a really good idea. Go to our YouTube page and subscribe there, and you will get an alert every single time that we have a segment. It also works at Amazon, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify. Wherever you want to listen to us, we love having you here. Indiana signed 3 players to its men's basketball team on a busy Wednesday for Darren DeVries and the Hoosiers. It started with former Sam Houston wing Lamar Wilkinson. Wilkinson averaged 20 points per game last season and picked IU over Kentucky, Auburn, and Ole Miss. Later in the day, it was announced that the Hoosiers had signed another wing in former North Florida star Josiah Miles. Miles has 2 years of eligibility left. And just before midnight, it was announced by several sources that DeVries and the Hoosiers also got a commitment from Sunbelt Player of the Year and former Troy Trojan, Tayton Connerway. All 3 of those guys averaged at least 15 points a game last season. John Rothstein tweeted Wednesday that the renewal of the Indiana-Kentucky men's basketball rivalry will be played this season on December 13th at Rupp Arena. It was also good news for Purdue's men's basketball team on Wednesday. The Boilermakers have to be considered one of the national favorites heading into the 2026 season, especially after Matt Painter garnered a commitment from Israeli star Omer Mayer. The 6'4", 18-year-old Israeli chose Purdue over Duke and Auburn. In the NBA, it'll be the Heat against the Hawks in Atlanta and the Mavericks against the Grizzlies in Memphis for the final playoff spots Friday. Miami beat the Hawks 109-90, and Dallas beat Sacramento 120-106 in a couple of blowouts Wednesday. After the second game, the Kings fired general manager Monty McNair. The Hawks Heat winner will face the East number 1 seed Cleveland in the opening round. The Mavs Grizz winner will play Oklahoma City, the top seed in the West. The Pacers open the playoff Saturday at home against Milwaukee at 1. The Pacers are 5.5-point favorites in game 1 and 2-1 favorites to win the series. Pacers star Tyrese Halliburton said it's not going to be a friendly series.
The regular season, holds weight for sure, but it doesn't change how we approach it. It's still a playoff series. Doesn't matter who we play, and understand that we're always going to get their best shot. They're always going to get our best shot. It's plain and simple. We don't like each other, so it's just part of it.
Again, Mike Rich, Will Rutherford, Grant Schaus, Michelle Garman, and I broke down the series and made our predictions Wednesday night. That will be released first thing Friday. We also predicted all 8 first-round series. That will drop later in the day Friday. The Indianapolis Stars' Kyle Neddenrip reported Wednesday that former Guerin Catholic coach Bobby Allen will move across to Hamilton County and be the new head coach at Hamilton Southeastern. Allen won 128 games at Guerin and won 4 sectionals, 3 regionals, and a semi-state championship over the last 5 years for the Golden Eagles. Rochester head coach Rob Malchoy announced he's retiring after 17 years with the Zebras. Malchoy led Rochester to 234 wins, 6 sectional championships, and a state finals appearance in 2009. And Crispus Attucks star and Mr. Basketball finalist Desmond Briscoe announced on Twitter that he'll visit Kent State as a potential destination. Briscoe originally committed to Iowa, but changed his mind after Fran McCaffrey was fired as head coach. Do some local high school varsity action, and we start with girls tennis. Alexandria held off Frankton in a 3-2 victory to advance to the semifinals of the Madison County tournament. The Tigers' key win came at number 1 doubles, where Abby Gaines and Lily Harp came from a set down to beat Campbell Choir and Layla Dietzer in 3 sets, 4-6, 6-3, and 6-2. Alexandria's other wins came at number 1 singles, where Avery Cuneo beat Lainey Hamaker, and at number 3 singles, where Fady Bridwell beat Aiden Needler in straight sets. Both scores were 6-1, 6-2. Frankton's wins were from Sloan Harrison. She won 2-6, 6-2, 6-0 over Chloe Belts at number 2 singles. And Addie Moore and Haley Harrison won a 3-hour marathon match, 2-6, 7-5, and 6-4. The 6-time reigning champion Alexandria Tigers will face Pendleton Heights in Thursday's semifinals. Frankton plays Liberty Christian in the consolation bracket. Madison Grant Jr. Caitley Dickinson beat Anderson's Michaela Swain 6-0, 6-0 at number 1 singles, but the Indians took the other 4 spots against the shorthanded Argyles. Both Anderson's doubles teams won 6-0, 6-0. Anderson will play LaPel in the semifinals Thursday. Outside of the Madison County tournament, Eastern beat Delphi 5-0. Gianna Beachy, Morgan Kaiser, and the doubles team of Julia Salke and Reagan Princell all won 6-0, 6-0. LaPel is into the Madison County baseball semifinals after a 31-1 win over Anderson Prep. The Bulldogs scored 17 times in the first inning, and Hogan Bear and Gavin Rustin combined on a 1-hitter. 11 different Bulldogs had a hit. Kai Newman and Camden Novak both scored 4 times. Novak also drove in 3 runs. LaPel hosts Alexandria Thursday in the semifinal round. It's Pendleton Heights and Anderson in the other semifinal. In the consolation bracket, 4-2 Madison Grant knocked off Elwood 12-4. Elwood led 4-2 after 2 innings, but the Argyles responded with 10 straight runs over the final 5. Madison Grant had 14 singles in the win. Lou Gilman was 2 for 5 and drove in 3, and Levi Nelson was 2 for 3 and scored 3 times. Jackson Maggart and Zane Wright had singles and scored runs for the 1-5 Panthers. Oak Hill is 4-2 after beating Lewis Cass 9-6. Tanner Boswell had a big night for the Golden Eagles. He was 3 for 4 with a double, a run scored, and 4 RBIs. Dylan Archer was 2 for 4 with a run and drove 1 in. Southern Wells put up 8 runs in the 4th and won 9-3 at Eastbrook. Carter Doherty drove in 2 runs with a double for the 4-4 Panthers. Logansport beat Tipton for the second straight night, 4-1, this time in Logansport. The Blue Devils are now 1-6. Kokomo jumped out to a 3-0 lead on Lafayette Jeff, but couldn't hang on in a 13-4 defeat. J.J. Gillespie had a triple and 2 RBIs for the 1-4 Wildcats. Western scored 6 times in the second inning to overcome an early 4-0 deficit in an 8-4 Hoosier Conference win over Hamilton Heights. Kyler Norman had a 2 RBI single to tie the game, and Ryan Rodman's 2 RBI double gave the Panthers the lead for good. Brady Comer scored twice for the 7-1 Panthers. Brady Johnson single brought home Jacob Welsh with the game-winning run as Greenfield Central completed a comeback with 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th to beat Delta 4-3. Chase Ritchie was 2 for 3 and scored a run for 1 and for Delta. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th, Aiden Witt singled to left field, brought home Noah Lovell and Sam Tokar to give Yorktown a 3-2 win over New Palestine in a Hoosier Heritage contest. The Tigers are now 3-3. Aiden McWinney threw a 2-hit shutout, and Richmond beat Muncie Central 10-0. Some other scores of interest: Westfield blanked Cathedral 4-0. Hagerstown beat Shenandoah 7-2. Newcastle got by Rushville 6-2. Lawrence North beat Lawrence Central 10-0. North Miami edged Carroll 8-7. Central Catholic knocked off Benton Central 14-4. It was Huntington North 9, Peru 4, and Bluffton beat Wabash 5-4. In local softball, Brooklyn Nash allowed just 2 hits and struck out 13 in her shutout performance. In Mississinawa's 5-0 win over Peru, Nash was also 3 for 4 with an RBI on offense. Mississinawa is now 3-1. Logansport is 5-0 after beating Tipton for the second straight night, 14-1 over the visiting Blue Devils. Gracie Risley was 3 for 3 with 2 triples, 3 runs, and a pair of RBIs. Lacey Bittner went 2 for 2 with a double for the 2-5 Blue Devils. Reagan Beitler threw a 3-hit shutout in South Adams' 12-0 win over 1-2 Blackford. Cameron Roten drove in the game-winning run, and Heather Craze made it stand up with her complete game performance as Hamilton Heights upset number 1 and defending state champion Western 3-2. Roten went 3 for 3 with a double, 2 RBIs, and scored a run, and Craze held the Panthers to just 2 runs despite their 12 hits. Brandley Erb went 3 for 4 with a double and 2 triples in the Panthers' first loss of the season. Kokomo won 3-1 at Ben Davis to improve to 4-2. Emelise allowed a single earned run on just 4 hits and provided most of the Wildcat offense. She had an RBI double and scored twice. Marion scored 11 times in the second inning and 6 more in the third, and the Giants drubbed Richmond 17-0. Marion was led by Natalie Yeekles, 2 for 3, 3 RBI, 3-run performance. Marion is 2-3 and has scored 38 runs in 2 games this week. Cowan scored 10 times in the first inning. Savannah Hall tossed the no-hitter, and the Blackhawks beat Muncie Central 15-0. Taylor Young went 3 for 3 with 2 doubles and a home run, 4 runs scored, and 4 RBIs in the win. West Dell scored 3 times in the bottom of the 7th for another dramatic win. That's back-to-back nights the Warriors have won in their final at-bat, this time 15-14 over Southwood. Keely Bird homered to get the Warriors within a run. Then Kinsey Anderson and Devin Jaycox had RBI doubles to complete the come-from-behind victory. West Dell is now 3-3. Daleville scored 14 times in the first 2 innings and beat Cambridge City 14-1. Valen Pattengale 4 for 4 with a double, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 3 runs scored for the 2-1 Broncos. Ashton Ritchie threw a 1-hitter and tri-blanked Wapahani 10-0. Claire Morrell had a single for the Raiders. Rylan Matthews had a triple and 3 RBIs for 5-1 try. Ashley Sumter Music threw a shutout, and North Miami beat Northwestern 10-0. Addie Clark, Stevie Ray Hedges, and Bailey Marcus had singles for 2-3 Northwestern. Some other local scores of interest: Noblesville beat Carmel 16-2. Guerin beat Lawrence Central 1-0. It was Greenfield Central 5, Westfield 3. Mount Vernon 8, Connorsville 7. New Pal blanked Franklin Central 10-0. Twin Lakes doubled up Lafayette Central Catholic 20-10. Rossville 9, Harrison 6. And Shenandoah beat Adams Central 10-0. In local boys golf, Frankton won its season opener 177-223 in a dual meet against Madison Grant at Walnut Creek. Roger Shepard shot a 4/40 to earn medalist honors. Isaac Fair shot a 42, Jet Hyatt a 47, and Reed Utterback a 48 for the Eagles. Mason Seward led the Argyles with a 47. Bryce Yagi finished his round in 54 shots, and Ryder Frank in 58. Kokomo edged Eastern in a dual match Wednesday at Chippendale. Kokomo shot a 178 and beat the Comets by 6 strokes. Gabe Gomez shot a 40, the best round for Eastern. Pendleton Heights shot a 156 and beat Yorktown by 12 strokes in a dual meet Wednesday at TPC in Muncie. Vance Jarvis shot a 36 to lead the Arabians. Nate Matthews' 41 was best for the Tigers. We moved to the track where Tri-Central's boys won a three-way meet with Clinton Prairie and Sheridan. All three teams were within 7 points of each other. Augie Mueller won the 100, 200, and 400 for Tri-Central. Clinton Central won the girls' meet over Sheridan and Tri-Central. The Bulldogs scored 71 points to 47 for Sheridan and 34 for the Trojans. Tri-Central's Lily Stewart broke her own shot put school record with a toss of 37-9. She also won the discus. West Dells boys won a three-way meet with Daleville and Union. And on Thursday, Marion's Mike Harrington is expected to commit to run track and cross country at Indiana Wesleyan. In college baseball, Ball State won its 27th and 28th games of the season and improved to 13-5 in the MAC with a doubleheader sweep of Western Michigan 4-3 and 14-4. Anderson split a doubleheader at Manchester, winning the opener 7-5 and losing the nightcap 8-7 in 8 innings. Indiana Wesleyan is 33-5 overall, 23-3 in the Crossroads, and has won 11 games in a row after a doubleheader sweep over Goshen. Leah May's singles scored pinch runner Sarah Rubel for the game-winning run in the 7-6 win in Game 1. Jordan Ball then picked up her 17th win of the season in Game 2. The Wildcats go to St. Francis at 2 Thursday. In college baseball, Gavin Smith homered twice and drove in 5 runs, and IUK beat Indiana Tech 10-6. Mason Jans had 3 hits, including a home run, and scored 3 times as the Cougars snapped a 3-game losing streak. IUK is at Rio Grande for a River States contest Thursday. The series concludes with 2 games Friday. And looking ahead to Thursday, we have Madison County softball semifinals. That'll feature LaPel at Alexandria and Anderson at Frankton, plus the consolation bracket games of Madison Grant at Elwood and Liberty Christian at Pendleton. The Madison County baseball semifinals, the Nick Mueller tournament. LaPel is at Alexandria and Anderson is at Pendleton, plus Madison Grant versus Anderson Prep and Liberty Christian at Frankton in the consolation bracket. Also, Thursday at 8 o'clock is IU football's spring game. That will not be televised. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana sports. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you hear, please tune in every weekday at 1 o'clock and share these segments with your friends and family. We humbly thank you in advance. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.